The gift in the clay pot. In the quiet village of Mabali, surrounded by golden fields and red clay huts, a young girl named Amina lived with her grandmother. Amina's mother had died when she was just a baby, leaving behind only a name and a mystery, a small clay pot sealed with cowrie shells. No one was allowed to open it until Amina turned 18. "Inside this pot be your mama's final gift," her grandmother used to say. "When the moon is high on your 18th birthday, you go to the river and break it." But not before. Amina was curious. She often held the pot in her hands, feeling its cool surface and wondering what secrets it held. Sometimes, she thought she heard whispers inside, soft voices like wind through palm leaves. But she always put it back on the wooden shelf, untouched. Life in Mabali was simple but not easy. Every morning, Amina fetched water from the river with her clay jar balanced on her head. She helped her grandmother with cooking, cleaning, and taking care of their small garden. Despite poverty, laughter was never far. The village children played under mango trees, and elders told stories by the fire. Amina was known for her kindness and strong will. Boys admired her, girls envied her, but Amina was humble. She had dreams of going to the city, of becoming a teacher, but such dreams were expensive. Her grandmother could barely afford a new pair of shoes, let alone school fees. Then came her 18th birthday. The whole village gathered to sing and dance under the stars. Drums echoed across the fields, and the fire cracked like laughter. But as the moon rose high, Amina slipped away quietly, the sealed clay pot clutched to her chest. She walked to the river, her heart thumping like the village drums. The water shimmered under the moonlight, and frogs croaked nearby. She knelt on the muddy bank, whispered a prayer, and raised the pot above her head. With one strike against a rock, it shattered. Inside was a necklace, silver, delicate, and glowing faintly as if it held the light of 1,000 stars. Amina gasped. Alongside it, there was a folded piece of cloth, aged but still firm. She unfolded it. It was a letter. The words were shaky, written with charcoal. "To my daughter Amina, if you're reading this, I am proud of you. This necklace is more than it seems. It is your key to the truth. Go to the old market in Kamba. Ask for Mazi Juma. Tell him you wear the moonstone." Amina's hands trembled. The moonstone. She had heard of it in village tales, an enchanted jewel said to reveal one's destiny. She clutched the necklace tightly and looked at the stars. Her mother's voice echoed in her heart. Her journey had just begun. The journey to Kamba. The next morning, Amina set out on her journey to Kamba, a city known for its bustling markets and rumors of hidden secrets. The road was long and filled with challenges, but Amina had never been one to shy away from hardship. Her grandmother had always taught her that strength came from perseverance, and today, she would test that lesson. With the moonstone necklace safely tucked inside her cloth, Amina walked along the dirt paths, her feet kicking up dust in the early morning light. The air was warm, and the distant mountains loomed like giants watching over the village. She passed familiar landmarks, the old baobab tree, the hill where the children gathered to play, but everything felt different now. The necklace, the letter, the mysterious words, it was all a sign that her life was about to change in ways she couldn't yet understand. Amina's heart raced with anticipation, but she also felt a tug of fear. She had never been to Kamba alone, and the journey was long, stretching over 2 days and a night. The road was often lonely, and Amina wasn't sure what to expect when she arrived. But the thought of meeting Mazi Juma, the man her mother had mentioned, gave her courage. She had to know the truth about her mother. Why had she left so suddenly? What was the significance of the necklace? As the sun began to set on the first day of her journey, Amina found shelter under a large tree near a small stream. She gathered firewood and cooked a simple meal of maize porridge, the taste bringing comfort amidst the uncertainty. She lay down on a bed of grass, staring up at the stars, the same stars that her mother must have looked at before her death. The next morning, Amina continued her journey, her resolve stronger than before. The road to Kamba became increasingly difficult as the landscape changed, with jagged rocks and thorny bushes marking the way. But Amina pressed on, determined to uncover the truth. By the time she reached Kamba, the city was alive with the sounds of merchants selling their wares, children running through the streets, and the smells of fresh bread and roasted meat filling the air. Amina took a deep breath, her heart pounding in her chest. She was here. But where would she find Juma? She made her way to the market, where the merchants greeted her with smiles and offers of their goods. But Amina had no interest in buying anything. She was looking for something else, something more important. After hours of searching, Amina finally spotted an old man sitting beneath a tree at the far end of the market. His face was weathered, his eyes sharp despite his age. He wore a simple robe and a hat made from woven palm leaves. He didn't look like much, but there was something about him that made Amina's heart skip a beat. She walked up to him, her voice steady despite the nerves that churned in her stomach. Juma? She asked. The old man looked up at her, his eyes narrowing. For a moment, he said nothing. Then, he nodded slowly. You wear the moonstone, he said, his voice rough but kind. I have been waiting for you. Amina's heart soared. She had found him. The truth of the moonstone. Juma led Amina to a quiet corner of the market, away from the noise and bustle. The air was cool here, and the shade of a nearby tree offered a moment of respite. Amina could barely contain her excitement, but she forced herself to remain calm. She had come this far, and now the answers were within reach. Sit, Juma said, gesturing to a stone bench beside him. The journey you have made has not been in vain. Amina sat down, clutching the moonstone necklace in her hand. My mother, she left me a letter, she began, her voice trembling slightly. She said to find you, that you would have answers. The old man nodded solemnly. Your mother was a special woman, Amina. Not just any woman, but one who carried a legacy much greater than she could share with you. He paused, studying her with eyes that seemed to see through her very soul. You are the daughter of a warrior, Amina. A protector of your people. And the necklace you wear, this moonstone, is the symbol of your bloodline. Amina's breath caught in her throat. A warrior. My mother was a warrior. Juma's eyes softened. Yes, your mother was part of a secret order, a group of women who guarded the sacred lands of Mabali for generations. The moonstone necklace was passed down through the generations, a mark of their bond to the land and the ancestors who protected it. Amina's mind raced. This was more than she had ever imagined. Her mother, the quiet, loving woman who had raised her in the village, was a part of something much bigger. Amina had always known she was different, but she never imagined this. But why didn't she tell me? Amina whispered. Why did she leave me with my grandmother? Why did she had to protect you, Juma interrupted gently. Your mother knew that the time would come when the enemies of the order would rise again. The moonstone is more than a symbol, it is the key to unlocking ancient powers. Powers that the enemies of your people will stop at nothing to seize. Amina's hands tightened around the necklace. So, what do I do now? How do I protect my people? You are not alone, Juma said, his voice full of conviction. There are others, like you, who carry the legacy. But it is your destiny, Amina, to lead them. The first step is to return to Mabali. Your village needs you, and so do the people of this land. Amina nodded, her heart heavy with the weight of the truth. She had always dreamed of something more, but now, that dream was a responsibility, a duty to protect her people, her village, and the sacred lands that had been entrusted to her bloodline. As she stood to leave, Mazid Juma's voice stopped her. You must be careful, Amina. The enemies are already moving. The battle for the Moonstone has begun. With those words, Amina understood. Her journey was only just beginning. She would return home, yes. But she would never be the same again. The Moonstone would guide her. And with it, she would unlock the power within herself to protect everything she held dear. The end.